ಇನ್ನು ಲೈವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ವಾ ಅಮ್ಮ?
ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಅಂಕಲ್. ಲೈವ್ ಶುರು ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂಕಲ್.
ಅದೇ ಸೊ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಕಲ್, ಅದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬೇರೆ, ಲೈವ್
ಓಕೆ,
ಬೇರೆ.
ಲೈವ್ ಬೇರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಯ್ತು.
Uncle, shall we start the session, uncle?
ಓಕೆ ಅಮ್ಮ. ಓಂ ಶುಕ್ಲಾಂ ವರದರಂ ವಿಷ್ಣುಂ ಶಶಿವರ್ಣಂ ಚತುರ್ಭುಜಂ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನವದನಂ ಧ್ಯಾಯೇತ್ ಸರ್ವವಿಘ್ನೋಪಶಾಂತಯೇ. ಅಗಜಾನನ ಪದ್ಮಾರ್ಕಂ ಗಜಾನನಮಹರ್ನಿಶಂ ಅನೇಕದಂ ತಂ ಭಕ್ತಾನಾಂ ಏಕದಂತಮುಪಾಸ್ಮಹೇ. ಓಂ ಗುರುಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಗುರುರ್ವಿಷ್ಣು ಗುರುರ್ದೇವೋ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಃ ಗುರುರ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ. ಅಖಂಡಮಂಡಲಾಕಾರಂ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಂ ಯೇನ ಚರಾಚರಂ ತತ್ಪದಂ ದರ್ಶಿತಂ ಯೇನ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ 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 ಶಿವಬಾಲಯೋಗಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಕಿ
ಜೈ.
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ನವ್ಯ.
Okay, uncle. Welcome to everybody who has joined this today's satsang. So next Friday, 7th of August is Swamiji's tapas anniversary. It was on the 7th of August 1949 that Satyaraju, as a young boy of 14, was initiated into tapas by his guru Shankar Bhagwan in the form of a Jangama Devara. It was again on the 7th of August 1961, exactly after 12 years, that Satyaraju completed tapas successfully and emerged as Swamiji Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj. Later, Swamiji undertook another 1-year tapas from the 7th of August 1968 until the 7th of August 1969 as directed by his guru. Some of you will recollect that Swamiji consecrated the idols in the Trimurti temple in his ashram in Bangalore on the 7th of August 1987. It should be clear that the 7th of August every year is a very important and sacred day for us as his devotees. Therefore, let us discuss and understand a few topics related to tapas. As devotees of a yogi who performed tapas for 12 years and attained siddhi, we should learn more about tapas. We would like this discussion to be an interactive one. Hence, Just as during the previous session, any one of you may unmute your microphones anytime during this discussion and speak. You may ask any questions or raise any related points for discussion. Over to you, Uncle.
Thanks, Navya. Okay, so as Navya has mentioned, let us begin the discussion on tapas itself. Okay, this being the session before the tapas anniversary of Swamiji, I chose this topic to discuss. Okay, so again, I am also requesting all the participants uh, try try to make this session interactive so it becomes interesting to all of us. Okay, I don't want it to be a dry lecture, where people get bored. So please, any doubt that you have or any point that you want to make by yourself, please stop me and you can start speaking. As Navya has explained, you can unmute your mic whenever you want to speak and then start talking. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to begin the discussion by first stating the definition of tapas in Swamiji's words. Okay. Fortunately for us, he has clearly defined what tapas is. Okay. So, as per Swamiji, meditation in the state of samadhi for at least 12 hours at a stretch every day is tapas. Okay. I'll repeat this because this is important for all of us to understand. The definition of tapas as per Swamiji is meditation in the state of samadhi for at least 12 hours at a stretch every day is tapas. Okay. Now, I would like to spend some time understanding the definition itself because there are two terms in this. I mean, tapas is the term that we are defining, okay? So I'm not talking of that. Besides that, there are only two other terms. The rest is all just English language, right? The first one is meditation. We all know what meditation is as Swamiji's devotees, okay? At least I'm talking about the first stage of meditation, just when we begin the meditation, what do we do? I mean, when we begin practicing the meditation, okay? What we do is we have to close our eyes, okay? And sit quiet silently, okay? This is what Swamiji's meditation is. This is what he taught us, okay? I'm not going into the actual technique of meditation because Swamiji himself advised us not to disclose that technique publicly, okay? Except in a session where people are being initiated. So to them, we can disclose the technique, but not publicly in a video which is going to be shared on YouTube and Facebook now, okay? So I'm not going into the technique of it, but just telling you what meditation is. And this everyone knows, okay? However, I mean, I talked about the initial stage of meditation. Now, as we progress in meditation, okay, a state will be reached where there are no thoughts in the mind, okay? I mean, most of you who have closed their eyes and sat for meditation would have observed that the mind continues to run, continues to think, which in Sanskrit is called manovritti, meaning it going in circles. Okay, keep on thinking about something or the other, either a solution or a problem or some planning, something that you need to do. So you start planning when you are sitting idle. Okay, so that should stop. That is when it means that you have reached an advanced state of meditation. Okay. Now, beyond that is the state where, I mean, this was told to me by Swamiji. Okay. He told me that you are not aware of the surroundings. Okay. See, anyway, our eyes are closed, right? So the only thing, the other sense organ that is active is our ears, right? But Swamiji told me that if you go deep into the meditation, deep enough into meditation, you won't hear anything. Meaning, even if there are sounds around you, you don't hear the sounds. So that is the advanced stage of meditation. Okay. Now, I have experienced this stage also. Okay. I don't remember the first stage where thoughts stop, but when I meditated in the Dhyan Mandir at Swamiji's ashram in Bangalore, I could experience this state where, the bhajan was going on and I was in the hall. The bhajan was going on in the hall. And there were times when I could not listen to the bhajan. I could not hear the bhajans. And so it suddenly occurs, oh, I'm not hearing the bhajans. And then you start hearing the bhajans very faintly. And then it becomes normal like that. So I have experienced that state. So I am able to talk about that. Okay. Now, the next stage of progression is what is called as samadhi. Okay. So this is the other term that is used in the definition of tapas. So let us try to spend some time trying to understand what samadhi is. Okay, but unfortunately, I don't think I ever experienced samadhi. Okay, later on, I'll explain to you why the phrase experience samadhi is an oxymoron in the present language that is used. It is something that cannot or does not happen. There is nothing like experiencing samadhi. Okay, I'll come to that. I'll explain to you why that is so. Okay, so whatever I am talking about is what I have observed happening to Swamiji. Because I have seen Swamiji in samadhi many times. Okay, now when did Swamiji go into samadhi that I could see? Okay, the first thing is at the time of doing the tapas. There is a video that we have taken in the year 1963 in the Adivarapeta village itself. So there you see that Swamiji is still in the state of samadhi. Please watch that video carefully. See how his body shakes, sways gently. That is an indication that he is in samadhi. Okay. See, this is, I saw this much later after coming to the Bangalore ashram. But I have seen many times when Swamiji sits for the Pada Puja. When devotees are performing the Pada Puja of Swamiji, what used to happen was he used to put his legs down and sit on some sort of a platform, okay? But with his legs down because the Pada Puja had to be done. So he could not sit in an asana, right? So his legs were down like they are shown in the picture here. So in that state, whenever a Pada Puja was performed to Swamiji, invariably, every time a Pada Puja was performed to Swamiji, he would go into the state of samadhi. Okay. So that is when I could observe Swamiji in samadhi, what happens in samadhi. As an observer, I did not, as I say, experience samadhi, but I have seen Swamiji in the state of samadhi. Now, what happens here is, he is not only unaware of the circumstances, he cannot hear any sounds. Okay. Moreover, he loses the sense of touch also. I'm talking about a person who is in samadhi. Okay. Now, there are kinds of samadhi that people talk about. Okay. But I don't know that. I cannot explain them or talk about them. The only thing I know is what I have seen Swamiji experiencing. Okay. So that is what I can talk about. Okay. Then there is another story, which is, now let me explain the behavior first, and then we'll come to that story. Okay. See, what happens is we don't hear any sounds. The eyes are closed, so we don't see anything. And we become totally unaware of the surroundings. Okay. Now, people might argue that that's exactly what happens to a person who is in deep sleep, right? So when you are told, when you fall asleep and you are in deep sleep, you don't hear any sounds. Okay. Only when you return back to the dream state, only then you can hear the sounds. Or when you are waking up, only at that point you can hear the sounds. I mean, if they are just normal sounds that we have in the houses, in the houses. I mean, unless if there's a big sound, of course, you can wake up from deep sleep also. A very disturbing sound will wake you up from even from deep sleep. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out is even if a person is in deep sleep, if you call him or her by his or her name, okay, you make any other sound, he may not hear that. But you call him by his name, if not once, probably if you call him repeatedly, he'll start responding, okay? And then he'll come out of deep sleep. And then he'll wake up, okay? Now, if that person is in samadhi, you can call him any number of times by his name and he won't come out of samadhi. He cannot come out of samadhi, okay? That is the difference. Even if you make a big sound, he will not be able to hear it. He will not get out of samadhi. Okay? Not only that, even if you touch him, shake him, hit him, pat him, he will not come out of samadhi state. That is the difference between deep sleep and samadhi. Okay? Now I'll come to the story part. I know this because what I understand is that if a person is in samadhi, he will not wake up when touched or shaken or even beaten, or even if he falls down from the table where he's sitting. He's sitting in a dais and then he goes into samadhi and he falls down, even then he will not wake up. Okay, this used to happen to Satyaraju. That is Swamiji during his tapas. Okay, now how do we know about it? We know it because my grandfather, Garaga Narasimhamurthy, he used to have the key to the Dhyan Mandir at Swamiji's Adivarapeta ashram when Satyaraju was still continuing the tapas. The 12-year tapas is what I am talking about. So during those days, my grandfather used to go to Adivarapeta once in a while, and he would take the key from Parvatamma Garu, Swamiji's mother, and he would open the door and then he would go inside to check how Swamiji is. He had that permission. And we are told that only he had that permission to open the door and go inside. Nobody else was allowed to go inside during that 8 years of tapas. The later 4 years were different, okay? A lot of people used to have darshan and all that. Swamiji himself used to give regular darshan during the evening time. But I am talking about the first 8 years, during which time nobody was allowed inside Swamiji's room. Only my grandfather had the permission to go inside. So he told us that at times when he went into that Dhyan Mandir where Satyaraju was doing tapas, his body would be lying on the floor. So that means Sometime during the tapas, he fell down from the dais and still he did not wake up. He remained in samadhi in spite of falling down from the dais. Okay. This is what is called the state of samadhi. Okay. Now, I mean, I cannot explain anything beyond that. Now, the natural question that would come to people who are listening to this is, if we cannot bring a person out of samadhi in any of these ways that I have described, then how does a person come out of samadhi? Okay. Swamiji answered this question. The answer he gave was that the person, whoever is in samadhi, his guru will decide when the person will come out of samadhi. Okay. Only his guru will decide that. So in Swamiji's case also, it was his guru Jangamadevara or Lord Shiva who would decide when Swamiji would come out of samadhi. Okay. So we know, every day at midnight he used to come out of samadhi. How did that happen? It happened automatically, is what we say, right? But what really means is his guru allowed him to go out of the samadhi state or come out of the samadhi state into normal conscious state. So Satyaraju would get up and then take a bath and all that. Okay. Again, in about an hour's time, he would go and sit down on the same dais, and then the meditation would continue in samadhi. He would go into samadhi and then the meditation will continue. Okay. This is what used to happen. Clear? So I have explained both. Now, let me tell you a little more about the point I raised earlier. Okay. I have spoken earlier about a devotee by the name of Ken Permott. He is from USA, America, and he accompanied Swamiji back to Bangalore from the USA. Okay, so when Swamiji returned to Bangalore, he came along with Swamiji to Bangalore. And he came back to Bangalore because Swamiji, he asked Swamiji to be initiated into tapas. Swamiji agreed, and that's the reason he invited Ken to come to the ashram so that he can sit and do tapas in the ashram. Okay. So after reaching Bangalore, Swamiji initiated him into tapas. I have spoken about this earlier also. So he was given a room and he was supposed to be in that room all the 24 hours of the day. He was not to come out or not to talk to anybody else. Okay. But he was also given the permission that in case he feels that he needs some exercise, some walking around, then he can come out at the dead of night when none of the devotees will be outside. So that time he can come out and then walk for a while for the sake of exercise. But he is not supposed to speak to anyone. Okay. But at the same time, he was also given an advice that in case he needs help or he needs to talk to Swamiji, he needs some advice from Swamiji, then he was to send word with the person who used to supply his meals to his room. Okay. So, see, this story was narrated by Swami Ken himself to us. Okay. So it seems what happened was he wanted to talk to Swamiji. So Swamiji asked him to come to the Dhyan Mandir in the evening when Swamiji is giving darshan, the regular darshan time. Okay. So it seems that day he came to the Dhyan Mandir. So see, this is my guess, okay? While he was coming to the Dhyan Mandir, some people must have spoken to him. He did not talk to them, but some people must have spoken to him and asked him, how is the meditation going on? Are you doing well? And are you getting into the state of samadhi? Have you attained samadhi? Some questions like this. So it seems suddenly it occurred to him, oh, did I experience samadhi or did I not experience samadhi? So this was the doubt he had in his mind, and he was a little puzzled. I have been sitting for so long and for so many days, and I'm not sure whether I have experienced samadhi or not. Okay, then he decided to ask Swamiji. So when he reached Swamiji's dayas and he was given an opportunity to talk to Swamiji, one of the questions he asked was, uh, Swamiji, I don't remember having any experience of samadhi while doing the tapas. So it seems Swamiji replied to him, how can you experience samadhi? Meaning, the person who attains the state of samadhi, Swamiji's answer was, how can that person experience samadhi? He cannot experience samadhi. Okay, because as I explained until now, when in the state of samadhi, his mind is not there. Okay, and experience is a function of the mind, right? If the mind is not there, how do you experience? What do you experience? You cannot, right? Experience again has to be through the senses, right? So if the mind is not there behind the senses, how do you experience anything? How do you see or listen to anything or feel anything? There is no mind to feel or listen or see anything. Okay. So that I think is the explanation of Swamiji's answer. This is what Swami Ken told to us by himself. Okay. Okay. So now that we have understood both the terms meditation and samadhi, okay, I hope the definition of tapas is clear to you. Okay. Again, let me repeat the definition. The way Swamiji defined it is, if a person meditates in the state of samadhi for at least 12 hours every day, that is tapas. Okay. So just because a person is meditating for long hours every day, it is not tapas. He has to be in samadhi. Okay. And in samadhi, he has to remain in samadhi for 12 hours every day. Only then it will be considered as tapas. Okay. So when we say that Satyaraju performed 12 years of tapas, it means that for all the 12 years, Satyaraju was meditating in samadhi, in the state of samadhi, for at least 12 hours every day for all those 12 years. Okay. So that is 12 years into 365 days. Every day he was in meditation in the state of samadhi, at least for 12 hours. That is why we say he was doing tapas. Okay. So if a person is not in samadhi, it's not tapas. If a person is in samadhi, but yet not remaining in samadhi for at least 12 hours a day, it is not tapas. Then what is it? He is still practicing. He's trying to reach the state of tapas. I hope that is clear. Please let me know if you have any doubts until here so we can continue with what else I wanted to talk about. Any questions, Amma, at this stage?
There is one question in YouTube live chat, Uncle.
Ah,
It is again from an anonymous user.
Ha.
Uh, he's asking like, Uncle, in video you shown of Swamiji, his body is moving back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought if he is in samadhi, he will just keep falling, but his body seems to be moving front and back.
Ha. Okay, ma. See what we see, you are right. బాలు ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చూపిస్తావా బాలు వీడియో?
అంకుల్.
See, as I explained, there are times when the body will fall on the floor. Okay? That doesn't mean that every time the person goes into samadhi or attains the state of samadhi, he will fall down. Okay? I did not mean that. See, here what you see is the body is swaying, right? So automatically it gets controlled, preventing it from falling down. So that is why the asana is important. See, watch it carefully and then you will understand. Okay? So it's not to mean that only if the body falls away, he is in samadhi. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. That is why the asana is important, because the asana should stabilize the body. Okay? But there will be times when he's totally not unconscious and so the body will fall down. So the point I was trying to make was, even if the body falls down, he will not come out of the state of samadhi. He'll continue to remain in samadhi. Okay? Now, what is my experience? I mean, I'm talking about Swamiji in samadhi, but I watching it, feeling it. What do you mean by feeling? Okay? How do I feel? Let me explain to you. I also traveled along with Swamiji in car several times, okay? Either in the US or in India also. So when we travel along with Swamiji, we used to sit by the side of Swamiji in the car, in the back seat. Okay, so Swamiji will be talking, and then all of a sudden, he'll go totally silent. Okay, then we look at him by the side like this, and then his eyes are closed, and then he falls on us. Okay, he leans on us, the person who's sitting by the side, and you can feel his full weight on your body. And he doesn't get up. Okay, and we are trained not to disturb him when he goes into samadhi. See, I'm not talking about during Swamiji's tapas. No, I'm sorry. I was not there when Swamiji was doing tapas, okay? I was born in 1960 and Swamiji came out of tapas in 1961. So I was not with Swamiji when Swamiji was doing tapas, not even in 68 to 69, that 1 year tapas. Nobody was allowed inside the room. Probably one devotee was allowed, that's all, by the name of Veerabhadraya. So the rest of us were not allowed inside Swamiji's room during that 1 year. So I don't know what happened during the tapas. Okay, again, let me explain. The video that you see, that is not during the tapas. That is after the tapas. Because the first video that was taken of Swamiji, actually it's not a video. It is the cinema reel kind of a thing. It's a photographic reel. In those days, there used to be 8 mm reels. Like we used to have the 35 mm movie and the 70 mm movie. So for personal recording, people used to record it on 8 mm film, photographic film, okay? So that would be like a roll, big roll, and it will get recorded on that. And then you can play it on a player. So this is from that. Now, this video has been converted from the 8 film into a digital video. That is how we are able to show it to you on the screen. Okay. So don't please mistake that to be a video that was taken during the tapas, and that is what happened during the tapas. This was not during the tapas. This was much after the tapas was complete. As I explained to you, the first video that was taken in Adivarapeta was in 1963. So this video is from there, from that time, 1963. Okay. So this is one more experience that I told you. When I traveled sitting by the side of Swamiji, he would go into Samadhi and put his whole the body weight onto me, leaning onto me completely. You can feel that his body used to go completely limp. Okay. Again, during the Pada Puja, whenever Pada Puja was performed to Swamiji, he had to sit like that. Balu inko sar చూపిస్తావా? So what happens is, if you are sitting in an asana with your legs folded, automatically there is a balance setup, right? Like even if the body is unconscious, even if the body is not maintaining the position by itself, it will remain seated. That is the asana, right? Now, in this state, what happens is, observe that Swamiji's legs are hanging down. They are on a platform, I don't mean that, but he is not sitting in an asana. He is not sitting in a posture that is meant for yoga or dhyan, right? So in this posture, what happens is, it is very difficult for the body to maintain its own balance. He can easily fall to the side. So during such times, there are other videos. Probably Balu is unable to find them right now. What used to happen was, see here, the table is placed against the wall. Okay? But otherwise, we used to stand behind Swamiji by the side, holding him by the shoulders. Otherwise, he would either fall forward or fall to the side. So we had to take care to prevent him from falling to the side or forward. Okay, we had to support him. And again, we can see, we could feel his whole weight on us. Okay. So that is telling us that his body used to go completely limp, totally unconscious, kind of. Okay. I hope I have answered your question. Yeah, any other question, Amma?
There are a few more questions, Uncle.
Please, yeah.
Uh, the follow-up question for that question was,
Ah.
Swamiji also doesn't have mind. So technically, shouldn't he be in Samadhi all the time?
Good question. Yeah, but I'll try to take it some other time. See, what happens is, if a person does not have a mind at all, how do you expect him to see? How do you expect him to talk? Are they not mental functions? Don't you need a mind? Don't you need consciousness to be able to talk, to be able to see and understand what you're seeing? It is the mind which is analyzing the picture that the eye sees, right? So the mind is required. So, see, there are two ways of explaining this, okay? It's my understanding. Now, nobody has explained this to me. The first answer that I give to such questions is that the definition of the mind is different from a yogi's perspective. Especially, I don't mean specially, but particularly in English language, when we say mind, M-I-N-D, we include a lot of things in that. For example, is memory included in the mind? Yes. Is learning included in the mind? Learning, I don't mean in the sense storing all the information. Skill learning, okay? Is that in the mind? Then buddhi, intellect, is that also in the mind? Okay. Imagination, is that also in the mind? Then emotions, okay? Fear, anger, lust, greed, jealousy, aren't all these in the mind? I'm talking about the English word mind, okay? The meaning in English, we just say mind and we mean all of this and a lot more of things also. Okay, but yogis don't say that. When Swamiji says meditation is to control your mind, does that mean it's controlling your learning? Does that mean it's controlling your analytical skills? No. So there when the yogis use the term manas, I mean, which is unfortunately translated only as mind, they use it in a very closed sense. There are certain things which you are supposed to control, and those are to be controlled. For example, the Arishad Varga that we talk about, those have to be controlled. I'm not saying they are to be totally eliminated, but they have to be controlled. Okay. Now, I do understand your question in the sense that there is a term in Sanskrit called manonasha, meaning the destruction of the mind. Okay, I need to explain this some other time. Again, I'm not claiming that I already understand that. I need to go into this detail to explain, what is mind, what is to be controlled, what need not be controlled, what is intellect, buddhi. Are buddhi and manas the same? Definitely not. Okay. But then am I saying that buddhi is always good and manas is always bad? Sorry. Why do I say that? Because buddhi is the one, intellect is the one that you utilize to plan something, right? Now, if a guy is planning a murder, is that good? A terrorist is planning an explosion of a bomb, is that good? A guy is learning to make a bomb, is that good? Okay, but same thing, if it is done in an ordnance factory, of course you have to learn how to make a bomb. But the intention is different, right? There you require it for your country's defense. Here you're talking about killing innocent people. There's a lot of difference between them, right? So all this has to be taken into account before we say that buddhi is bad or buddhi is good, or manas is bad or manas is good. Okay. Again, let me take this example very easily. I mean, which can be understood very easily. Manas, I explained that the Arishad Varga are, if not the mind, the manas totally, part of the manas at least, which needs to be controlled. Okay. The Arishad Vargas have to be controlled. Okay. I explained earlier once, anger. There are times when anger is required. Take the example of parents and a child. The parents have to show anger at times to correct the child, to put the child in the right path. So we cannot say that anger is totally bad. Every time you get angry, it is bad. No. Okay. That is why the yogis say mind has to be controlled. Okay. Now, again, we have to understand this also that for a yogi, the mind is destroyed. Okay. Now, I'll give you another example. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Okay. It seems he used to go into samadhi just like that, spontaneously, anytime, anywhere he was. And if that happens, then he loses control completely, right? He won't be able to do anything. He won't be able to eat. He won't be able to talk. He cannot interact with people in any way, right? So it seems he had to prevent going into samadhi, prevent himself from going into samadhi. And one way he used to do that was to ask for a rasagolla. Okay. So whenever he felt that he was going into ecstasy, so that's what they call the Ramakrishna Mission people. They call that state as ecstasy. We in Shivabalayogi Mission, we call it trance or Bhava Samadhi. Okay, so he used to go into Bhava Samadhi very often. And to prevent himself from going into Bhava Samadhi, he used to ask for a Rasagolla, it seems. So his devotees used to keep Rasagolla ready all the time, available to him. So whenever he asked for Rasagolla, then they'll just put one Rasagolla into his mouth. Then he will eat that Rasagolla and remain in the conscious state. Otherwise, he will go into Bhava Samadhi. Okay? Now, so this, is that not trying to retain the mind? So that is what the destruction of mind means. Okay? I hope I have clarified that. Amma, any other question, Amma?
Yeah, there are few more questions, Uncle.
Yeah, please, Amma.
Uh, Suppose Swamiji is in Samadhi and we
Ah,
prayed him. Would
ah.
he hear it, or since he is in Samadhi, he doesn't feel anything and not able to listen to us since in Samadhi? Can Swamiji listen to us in Samadhi?
Of course, yes. Okay? Now, see, it's a very complicated situation. I cannot claim to understand the whole of it. Why do I say that? Because unlike us, the normal beings, I mean, I made this statement several times during the satsang sessions. Unlike us, normal beings, a yogi has several astral bodies. One physical body that we can see, right, with our eyes, but he has several astral bodies. So when we say a yogi is in samadhi, what happens to the astral bodies? Do we know? Okay. So that's the question I'm asking you. Now, unless we know that, again, we don't need to go to the extent of a yogi at all. A normal person like us, he is practicing meditation, he goes into samadhi. What happens to his astral body? His physical body is unconscious, fine. So what happens to his astral body? I don't know that. Unfortunately, nobody asked that question of Swamiji, and Swamiji has not answered it. Now, those who experience trance, I mean, Swamiji's devotees who experience trance, probably they can make an attempt to answer this question, okay? I mean, those who have experienced this state of samadhi, what happens to their astral body? Are they conscious of their astral body at that time during samadhi? Okay. Now, so I'm sorry, I'm unable to answer that question because it is as complicated as I explained, right? Unless we understand all of that, how can we derive an answer to that question? Okay. But I never came across an answer from Swamiji saying that, oh, I'm sorry, I was in samadhi at that time, so I could not listen to your prayer or I could not help you. Nothing like that. Okay. Now let me just answer it in a different way. I have explained earlier that every photograph of Swamiji that is being worshipped, like for example, I have a photograph of Swamiji in my home. I worship that. So there are photographs in so many devotees' homes, and we are all worshipping them. Now, if Swamiji in the Bangalore ashram goes into the state of samadhi, What happens to the astral form in my photograph here? I mean, in Swamiji's photographs in my house? I don't know, right? So it's not such a simple question to answer. Okay. Thank you for asking the question anyway. It's an interesting question. Yeah, Ma. Next.
Uh, Next is how one gets into samadhi. What one must to do to practice it every day.
Okay, Ma. Good question, Amma. Actually, I should have discussed it by myself, but thanks for asking that. May I know who asked the question, Amma?
The name is like Mother Earth. Means it's not
Okay,
like
right. So the person has not given his actual name. Okay, clear. That doesn't matter. I'll try to answer that question. See, Swamiji himself has explained that we should do, I mean, every one of Swamiji's devotees should meditate for at least 1 hour every day. Okay. Now, those who have the time, I mean, who can afford the time and who have the inclination. What do I mean? Why I am trying to separate these things? What I mean is this, okay? Irrespective of your job, your business, your whatever you do, right? Your age, your gender, Swamiji insisted that everyone does 1 hour's meditation every day. Okay. But when we talk about samadhi, only few people have that interest or the commitment to progress in spiritual life and then to attain samadhi, to reach samadhi. Okay. Now, such people will have to spare more time. Somehow they'll have to find time if they want, right? Now, for them, the advice from Swamiji is try to increase the time of the meditation. Like we are doing 1 hour of meditation every day, right? Try to increase that. 2 hours of meditation, 3 hours of meditation, then 4 hours of meditation. I mean, it comes with practice. It won't come immediately. There is a case where it comes immediately. I'll come to that later on. Okay. But the person will have to practice every day and gradually increase the time, minimum 1 hour every day. But from that 1 hour, you have to extend it 1.5 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, like that. Okay. Now, what Swamiji explained to us is if a person can sit continuously for 3 to 4 hours every day in meditation, then he'll start getting samadhi. Okay. And he further explained that if a person gets samadhi, then he won't be able to define how long he'll remain in samadhi. That will be up to the guru, as I explained earlier, right? To attain the state of samadhi, or we can use the word enter the state of samadhi, you will require 3 to 4 hours of meditation again every day. Not that today you have done 4 hours of meditation, so it's guaranteed that you will get into samadhi. No, sorry. Every day you will have to practice 3 to 4 hours of meditation at a stretch. Not 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and 1 hour in the evening. That won't help you get into samadhi. Okay. You have to sit continuously at a stretch for at least 3 to 4 hours. That is when you will start getting into the state of samadhi. And once you get into the state of samadhi, you can remain for any duration in samadhi. Okay. It's not even in your volition. You cannot decide when to come out once you get into samadhi. The guru will take care of that. The guru will bring you back when it's needed for you to be back into normal consciousness. I hope that answers your question. Yama, next.
there were two questions, Uncle.
Huh.
Can a normal person try for samadhi or normal meditation will do? I think this answered, this was answered just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, that's right, Amma. See, what I'm saying is everyone has to do the meditation for at least 1 hour. Okay. And Swamiji told us that that is sufficient. You don't have to try to do 3 to 4 hours every day if you have other responsibilities, either office work, you have to earn your living. Okay, you have to do your business. You need to play, you need exercise, you need to sleep. So all these things have to be done, right? You cannot totally stop any of those. Okay. So if you do 1 hour's meditation every day, that is sufficient. Okay. But if you have the time to spare and if you have the inclination, you want to progress spiritually, then you will have to do more meditation every day for more duration. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My next question.
Then what is dhyana?
I think I explained that in the beginning of this session, right?
Yeah.
Dhyana is the Sanskrit word for meditation. Okay. Actually, there is a difference between the English term meditation and then what it means, and the Sanskrit term dhyana. Okay. Even in Sanskrit, dhyana is used in different contexts. Okay. But here we are talking about dhyana in the sense of spiritual practice, right? Sadhana. So for that, it means that the person has to sit with his eyes closed, okay? And we'll tell you a technique. If you are interested in taking the initiation into Swamiji's meditation, there are devotees who offer the initiation in different locations of the world. So if you let us know where you are living, then we can help you with finding a person. Either you will have to go to them or you can attend a program where the initiation into Swamiji's meditation is offered. Okay. For example, at Swamiji's ashram in Bangalore, every Saturday and Sunday, there is an initiation program uh, between 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay. So if you want initiation, you can come to Bangalore and you can come to the ashram and take the initiation between 5 and 6 p.m. I mean, you need to be there for the whole 1 hour. Okay. You will be made to sit and practice meditation for 1 hour. And you will be told how to do the meditation and what to do, what not to do. Simple things. And I would like to emphasize here that there is no charge for meditation. Okay, there is no charge for any of the services that are offered at the ashram, either Swamiji's darshan or dhyan or prasadam or to participate in the bhajan. There is no charge. It's free of charge at any of Swamiji's ashrams. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Yeah, Amma. Next question, if there are
There
any.
was one more question, Uncle. I think you
Yeah,
have answered that. That's all from YouTube side of it.
Amma,
And
just read the question, Amma. So I am sure that I have answered it.
how one can meditate.
Okay, again, it's we are talking about the technique, right? So you need
Mm.
to uh, take the initiation into Swamiji's meditation. You will be told how to do the meditation, the technique of meditation, and then you can practice that at least for 1 hour every day. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Now let's go ahead with the planned topics. Okay, planned agenda for today. So it was good to have those questions. It makes the whole session interesting. The next thing I want to talk about is Guru. Because as I've told you, whether it is meditation or samadhi, the Guru is very important. Okay, so let us talk a little about Guru himself. Okay. Swamiji's definition again for this also was very simple. Okay? He insisted that anybody who shows the path to God is the Guru. Okay. Now, the very extreme example that uh, I could find was the story of a saint by the name of Bedra Kannappa. Okay. Uh, I mean, people in India should know about Sri Kalahastishwara. It is a temple near Tirupati, I think about 50 to 60 kilometers from Tirupati, I think to the east of Tirupati. So that's where this temple is. And this story is associated with that temple. Okay. Actually, the Shivalingam at that temple. Okay. Now, it's a very interesting story. So, Kannappa, that's the name of that devotee. He was a hunter. And in Kannada, a hunter is called Bedara. Bedara or Bedara. Okay. So his name is Bedara Kannappa, Hunter Kannappa. Okay. But ultimately he became Bhakta Kannappa. He became a devotee of God. That's why he is called Bhakta Kannappa. Okay. So this story actually happened in Andhra Pradesh in a place called Sri Kalahasti. Okay. So there, what actually happens is this hunter, uh, I mean, they have to find game, right? Some animal to shoot and kill, and then they eat the animal meat. Okay. So they don't do agriculture, they don't grow their grains or anything like that. They live in the forests, though they live by hunting. Okay, now it so happened that this Kannappa, he could not find game, meaning any animal uh, to be hunted for 3 days or something like that. Okay. I mean, he may have seen an animal, but he could not hunt it and kill it. So he didn't get meat to eat. Okay, so he was very hungry and he was roaming around in the forest looking for animals to kill. Okay. Now, so during that time, he happens to come to this temple. In those days, probably that was a forest. He was hunting in the forest and he accidentally comes to this temple. Okay. Now, although it was in the middle of the forest, there was a priest at the temple. Okay. Now, that day, what actually happened was the actual priest was on leave. So, or he had some other reason not to come to the temple. So, his nephew, his younger brother's son, was there in the temple and he was cleaning the temple and doing the worship and all that. So, that time, Bedra Kannappa goes there. So, as soon as Bedra Kannappa goes there, that fellow who is a young chap, he gets frightened looking at Bedra Kannappa. One thing is he's a hunter by profession, so he's dressed like a hunter, probably with skins and all. And he has a bow in his hand and arrows. So that frightens the young boy. And he is caught there in the temple, and the hunter is there. And because he is afraid of the hunter, he is looking for ways to escape from the hunter and run away. Okay. And somehow he thought that the hunter will catch hold of him, punish him in some way or something like that. So there ensues a talk, and then probably Kannappa has expressed to him that he is hungry and he is unable to find any animal to hunt. So he expresses that to the priest, the young priest. So the priest has an idea. The young guy, he has an idea. Okay, he says, "Oh, then I'll tell you what to do. Okay, come here. See this stone here? He shows the Shivalingam. Okay, now this stone is God." He said, "What God?" Because he's a hunter. He didn't know what God was. He didn't know what a temple was. He didn't know what Shivalingam was. He said, "What do you mean, God?" He said, whatever you want, whatever your desire is, whatever your need is, if you pray to this rock, it will grant you that wish, that desire. Okay. He said, okay, is that so? If I ask it, can it give me an animal to hunt and eat? Because I am hungry. That is my need now. He said, of course, yes. Whatever you ask for, it will be granted. Okay, so what do I do? How do I ask this? He said, sit there. Sit with your eyes closed. And he teaches him the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay? Keep chanting this mantra. Don't open your eyes. And God will grant you your wish. Because this is God. The stone is God. The plan was, once he makes the hunter close his eyes, he can escape and run away. Okay, this photograph that Balu is showing is actually from a movie which is named as Bedra Kannappa. It's a Kannada movie. Okay, so that is the priest that I am talking about, and this is the hunter Kannappa. So as soon as the guy Kannappa closes his eyes and then starts chanting Om Namah Shivaya, this fellow gets up and runs away. Okay. So he sits there and then he keeps chanting and chanting and chanting. And finally, he's hungry. Right. So his hunger is still bothering him. So he thought, I have been praying for so long. So how is this God going to give me an animal? And he said, oh, probably the animal is here and I have my eyes closed. He opens his eyes and then looks around. And fortunately for him, outside the temple, he finds a rabbit. Okay. So immediately he takes his bow and arrow and then shoots the rabbit, and the rabbit dies. Okay. So he's very happy. And so he goes out and picks up the dead rabbit, he skins it, and then he roasts the meat of the rabbit. He's a hunter. He knows how to do all of that. He had the knife or whatever tools it takes. So he skinned the rabbit, he cut the meat, and then he roasted it. Then he was grateful to God. Who was God? The rock inside, the Shivalingam inside, the temple. Okay. So he thought, no, this was given by God. So I should first offer it to God. How can I eat it before offering it to God? This God seems to be very good. I asked for meat, I asked for an animal to hunt, and here is the animal. Now I just closed my eyes and sat for a while and chanted the mantra that that guy told me. And now there is an animal which I could kill, and now my hunger will be satisfied. So he takes that meat, that roasted meat, and offers it to the Shivalingam. Okay? Being a hunter, he didn't know the rules. He didn't know that meat cannot be offered
సాయంత్రం
to
యాభై
God.
గంటల భజన నేర్చుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది.
Okay? So at this point, I mean, we were actually watching this movie when Swamiji told me this. Okay? And Swamiji suddenly exclaimed that it seems Lord Shiva actually ate that meat, that roasted rabbit meat. Okay? And Swamiji used to tell us that Shiva is a vegetarian. And yet, because it was offered out of so much devotion by Kannappa, he had to eat it. So he ate meat. Probably that's the only time Lord Shiva ate meat. So Swamiji would, exclaim, Lord Shiva ate meat. I say, when this fellow offered the meat to Lord Shiva, he used to exclaim like that. Okay. And that is when Swamiji explained to me that that priest was the guru of Kannappa. So I argued with Swamiji, I mean, how can that be? I mean, that fellow's intention was very different, right? I mean, he didn't want to show the path to God to Kannappa. All that he wanted to do was escape from the hunter and run away, that's all. He was not interested in whether Kannappa will get the meat or get his desire fulfilled or anything like that. I mean, we don't even know whether the priest believed that the Shivalingam is really God. He could be working there for the salary or whatever his uncle gives him for that. He was doing it as a duty. Was he a real devotee? Was he devoted to Lord Shiva? We don't know that. And yet Swamiji said that no, he is the Guru. He is the Guru of Kannappa. I said, Swamiji, how can that be? I mean, his intention. No, that doesn't matter. Ultimately, he showed the path to God, to Kannappa. So he is Kannappa's Guru. Okay? So that's the definition of Guru that Swamiji told us. Okay, now there is another story again where we'll find the role of the Guru very surprising. Okay, this is the story of Yogi Vemana. He is from Andhra Pradesh, I think from the Rayalaseema area. Yogi Vemana, he is very famous there, and it is known, it is well known that his sister-in-law was his Guru. Okay, because of his sister-in-law, he could become a yogi. Now, I'll come to the detailed story later uh, on a different topic. Okay, I mean, again, the whole thing is tapas itself, but in tapas, under the heading of uh, Jnanodaya, I want to discuss this story in detail. So you will have to please wait for that. Okay? Yeah. Uh, any other questions here, Amma? Any more questions on this subject of Guru?
No, uncle. On this subject, I do not find any questions, uncle. But there are out of this subject, there are questions,
Yeah, Amma.
uncle.
Yeah, Amma, go ahead. I mean, it doesn't matter which. We'll see whether we can take the question or not.
Okay,
Go ahead and
uncle.
read the question, Amma.
Okay, uncle. So the question is,
Ah,
uncle, I remember reading Swamiji saying something
ah,
that it's possible to go to Surya Loka in Samadhi.
yeah.
So maybe astral body can travel in Samadhi, I guess, and experience Surya Loka.
No, repeat that, Amma. The last part. I mean, see, there is some sound here, so I could not he hear that clearly. So can you repeat
Okay.
that?
Yeah, uncle. So maybe astral body can travel in Samadhi, I guess, and
Yeah,
experience Surya Loka.
yeah, that's right. Yes, so I think he is uh, trying to address the discussion that we had earlier as to what will happen to the astral body when the physical body is in samadhi, right? So that's correct. I mean, when a person leaves the body in the astral form, the physical body will of course be in the state of samadhi. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm saying of course. I have not explained it. Okay, the see, I don't want to use the word consciousness because the other people use consciousness in a different way also, right? So I am only talking about the consciousness as it is used in the medical fraternity. Okay, he has fallen unconscious. He is not conscious, or he is conscious. He has returned to consciousness. So I am talking only in that sense. Okay. Now, consciousness by itself in spirituality has a different meaning altogether. Okay, they say consciousness itself is the Atma. So I'm not talking in that sense now. Okay, so when the astral body of a normal being like us, right? Because we have only one astral body, right? One physical body associated with it, one astral body. So when the astral body leaves the physical body has to be in a state of samadhi. Is that clear, or do I need to explain it further? Okay. So when Swamiji's astral body was taken to the sun, Swamiji's physical body was in samadhi. Okay. But the point that Swamiji was making there, when he gave the first address and explained why he did tapas or why he was made to do tapas, is that you have to attain the state of samadhi to be able to experience astral travel. Okay? So that is the way to towards Atma Sakshatkara, self-realization. Okay? See, the way I see it, I'll try to talk about it at a different time. Can a person attain self-realization without being aware of the astral body? I mean, I find it very illogical because if you're not even aware of your astral body, how can you reach the state of being aware of the Atma itself? Because as we understand, there is a physical body, Sthula Sharira, which we are all aware of. We all see each other's physical bodies and all that. We have that capability. At the next level is the Sukshma Sharira, astral form or astral body, which we cannot see right now, except probably when God's or Guru appears in our dreams or in the meditation and show their form to us, we cannot see the astral form, right? And those who experience trance, they also can see the astral forms of gods. But otherwise, we don't know the astral forms, right? Like for example, when we are looking at each other, we don't see the astral form. We only see the physical form, right? So from that level, we have to develop to a level where we can be aware of the astral bodies. Yogis are aware of astral bodies. They meet each other in the astral plane. They talk to each other. They have meetings. They have discussions. Yogis can do it, but not we, the normal people. Okay, we will have to do sadhana to be able to go to that level. Now, beyond that is where Atma is, right? So that is the reason I am saying that if a person is not aware of the astral body, how can he reach the state of self-realization, Atma Sakshatkara or Bhagavat Sakshatkara? So the first stage is being aware, conscious of the astral form, right? The astral body. Okay. So this is what I was trying to say. Amma, any other
Uh,
question? Or
yeah, Uncle, we have one question.
yeah,
Has Swamiji ever spoken on tea or other caffeine for meditation?
not for meditation, but Swamiji used to have tea regularly. Every morning and every afternoon he used to have tea. Uh, so I mean, I can answer only that much to your question. I mean, he didn't relate tea or coffee or caffeine to meditation in any way. Okay, now if you feel that, I mean, when you sit for meditation, you tend to fall asleep and you would like to have a cup of tea or cup of coffee before that, that's fine. There's no objection to that. Okay. So, I mean, as per the instructions that Swamiji has given, you can continue to take the food that you have been taking before you are initiated into meditation. So there are no restrictions on either tea or coffee or the kind of food that you eat. Okay, you can continue to do that. Yeah, Ma. I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Uncle
Next.
Girish Garu raised his hand.
Yeah,
So,
Ma. Ask him what his question is.
yeah.
Hello, hello, Uncle. Namaste.
Yeah, Girish. No,
Good
namaste,
evening to
Girish.
everyone.
Good
Good evening
evening.
to everyone. So while doing tapas, or when they go to Bhava Samadhi, their hand gestures changes. Like it goes to some or the other gesture. So
Huh.
my question there is like, does it signifies anything? But when I observing like few people who have that same samadhi get that same gesture, and
Yeah.
next question, Swamiji's hand still remained in a gesture. Does it justify or tell something on that, or Swamiji told anything about it?
Yeah. Now let me explain that. Manavya, just give me a break of a minute. You can probably show the video that the England video that I talked about, right? Balu?
Yeah.
అంకల్
అవి వీడియో చూపిస్తావా?
చూపిస్తాను అంకల్.
నాకు జస్ట్ 2 minutes బ్రేక్ ఈలో మళ్ళీ వచ్చేస్తాను నేను.
ఓకే అంకల్.
फाइव पाउंड से काम कर रहे हैं 2 पाउंड का तुम आए तुम डॉक्टर पैस किया 5 पाउंड काम कर रहे हैं 1 घंटा का हमारे कंट्री में डॉक्टर पैसा आए तो हम नहीं करेंगे ऐसे राजा बाबा करके बैठते ये गलती है हम लोग ऐसे नहीं है
जीवन में तो बच्चों के साथ
आत्मा को बहुत शांति में जाना फोन को डर नहीं है कुछ नहीं है तुम जाना वहाँ जाना टाइम में बहुत शांति में जाना सीता गायब हो गया रावण करके चले गए एक लोभ करने का कारण में कर्म लग गई ना जाना पड़ा रावण सीता कर जाना का कितना बड़ा योगी है कितना चक्रवर्ती बड़ा चक्रवर्ती मरना पड़ा
I hope.
सबके प्रसाद मिला नहीं तो बांटो
Ma, it's raining more fruits. Underneath it,
నేను వచ్చేసాను బాలు. ఓకే, ఐఎమ్ సారీ ఫర్ దాట్ ఇంటరప్షన్. బాలు, ఒక ఫోటో ఉంది కదా, ఒక చిన్న కుర్రవాడు ఫ్లూట్ ఊతున్నట్టుగా పట్టుకొని ఉంటాడు చూడు ఇలాగా
ట్రాన్స్ అంకల్.
ట్రాన్స్ లో, అది చూపిస్తావా? దాని తర్వాత స్వామీజీ హ్యాండ్స్ రెడీ చేసి పెట్టుకో.
ఓకే అంకల్.
ఓకే, నేను గిరీష్ క్వశ్చన్ కి ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తాను. యా గిరీష్, టు ఆన్సర్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్ నౌ, సి భావ సమాధి, that is what we call as trance in English, right? So the way I explained that, I think I explained that in one of the sessions, okay, is that it is a combination of two words, right? Bhava and samadhi, okay? So what does the two words mean and refer to? Let us understand that, it will answer your question. Okay. Now, the second word samadhi refers to the devotee who is experiencing the bhava samadhi. Okay. So that means that the devotee is in the state of samadhi. Okay. So during the bhava samadhi, when he is experiencing the bhava samadhi, he goes into samadhi, the same state of samadhi that I explained earlier. Okay. Now, what does bhava refer to? Bhava refers to the attitude of the God whose astral form has taken over the physical body of the devotee. Clear? Let me put it in a different way, right? So in bhava samadhi, what is happening is an astral form of a divine being or a yogi, because We can consider yogis also to be divine beings, okay? So a divine being or a yogi who is capable of doing this will come in an astral form and suppress the astral body of the devotee. Okay? When I say suppress, don't mistake it to be a forced suppression and so the devotee will feel, frustrated or bad about it. No. On the contrary, the devotee will enjoy it. He'll get a lot of bliss because he is in the state of samadhi. Okay? So the devotee is put in this, the astral form, what it does is, the divine astral form, it puts the devotee in the state of samadhi and takes over the physical body of the devotee. Okay. Then the audience around the devotee who is in trance, we see the attitude of the astral form in the physical body of the devotee. So, for example, what do I mean by attitude here in this context? Okay. What I mean is, take Lord Krishna, for example. Okay. What's the normal image of Krishna that we have, or impression of Krishna that we have? Happy, joy-loving God kind of thing, who is playing around with devotees and gopis and all that. And then he also plays a flute, beautiful flute, which mesmerizes all the gopis. Okay. So that's the image that we have of Lord Krishna. The general image that we have, impression that we have, right? So that is the bhava, attitude. That attitude is what you see in the devotee's physical body. Is that clear now? So if the devotee is experiencing the bhava samadhi of Lord Krishna, meaning Lord Krishna's astral form, one of the astral forms of Lord Krishna has taken over this devotee's physical body, then you will see Lord Krishna's attitude, bhava, in the physical body of this devotee. So you will see that the devotee is holding Lord Krishna and playing it. Lord Krishna's astral form, one of the astral forms of Lord Krishna, has taken over this devotee's physical body. Then you will see Lord Krishna's attitude, bhava, in the physical body of this devotee. So you will see that the devotee is holding Lord Krishna and playing it. Lord Krishna. ఏమైంది బాలు?
ಯಾವುದೋ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂಕಲ್.
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರಿ, ಓಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತು ಆಯ್ತು ಬಾಲು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀಯಾ ಬಾಲು?
ಅಂಕಲ್.
So Girish, coming back to your question, you have seen the video of the boy in trance who has his hands as though he is holding a flute, right? So that is Lord Krishna's bhava samadhi, Lord Krishna's trance. Now, as I said, the bhava. So we have a bhava or an attitude of Krishna that is very popular, which is Krishna playing a flute, right? Now, in the same way, if you talk about Rama is generally seen with a bow and arrow, right? So if you see the trance of Rama on a devotee, then you will see that the devotee is acting as though he is holding a bow and an arrow. Okay, so this is what we generally see in the ashram, right? So in the same way, like the attitude of Krishna is represented by a flute, the attitude of Rama is represented by a bow and arrow, right? The characteristic of Shivabalayogi Maharaj is his hands, his palms, the bent fingers. This is the characteristic, the unique identifying characteristic of Shivabalayogi Maharaj. Okay? So in case any devotee is in the trance or bhava samadhi of Shivabalayogi, you will see that his fingers are also like this, bent like this. Okay? Same way that Swamiji's fingers are bent. So that is the reason you see the devotee in trance with bent fingers. So you should understand that at that time, it is Swamiji's astral body on their physical body. Is that clear, Girish?
Yes, uncle.
Okay, Girish. Thank you. Thanks, Balu. బాగుంది ఈ ఫోటో కూడా బాగుంది.
Yeah,
Okay.
the same observation I used to see like in the ashram.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like when they get to the trance, it'll immediately go to that state. And few
Yeah.
people, as you mentioned, like Narasimha trance, few people get. So it is the same state, like as you explained now. So got it
Yeah.
completely.
See, Narasimha, I mean, his characteristic is that loud roar and acting like a lion, right? So that's what we see in the physical body of the devotee also in the ashram. Right? Whoever gets the trance of Lord Narasimha, that devotee starts roaring like a lion. Okay? Yeah. And yeah, so
Thanks.
that completes our time. So I could not discuss, I mean, there is a lot more that I had prepared for, but I could not discuss it in this session. So I'll try to continue this discussion on tapas in the next session. Okay, so the next half an hour we say is for informal discussion. I mean, we have been having an informal discussion anyway. But in case you want to ask about any other topic or any other question, you are free to ask it now. Uh, we have another half an hour. I'll take those questions. In the next session, we'll continue the discussion on tapas.
We have one devotee asking for he wants to ask a question, it seems.
Yeah, Ma. Yeah, go ahead and you allow him to ask.
Yeah, the name is not written correctly. It says Samsung SM.
Okay.
So yeah, I have
Hello.
unmuted.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, please.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar ji.
Sir, I have I was doing these practices, spiritual practices, and doing meditation and everything. And just few months back, I came to know about Shivabalayogi Ji Maharaj,
Yeah.
and I got very fascinated with all his teachings and what he talks about and all his teachings. My
Yeah.
small question is just that I want to understand that is there any guidance from Yogi Ji on what kind of food we should take, what kind of fooding habits one meditator, a seeker should follow in terms of eating tamasic bhojan or sattvic or vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and all, the conduct a seeker should
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah. Swamiji has answered this question. So I'll try to tell you what Swamiji's answer is.
Okay.
See, when people take initiation into Swamiji's dhyan, meditation, we give them a sheet of instructions. Okay. Those instructions are from Swamiji himself directly. So he told us the instructions and we wrote them down. And even today, we distribute the copies of the same instructions to people who take the initiation. So in that, it is clearly mentioned that one need not change his food habits because he has taken initiation. Okay, so that means it is not necessary for a person to change his food habits to do the meditation. Okay, so the food habits, the kind of food that you eat, need not change that just because you are trying to meditate or practice meditation. Okay, so this is what is written in the instructions itself. And Swamiji never objected to any devotee having any food. Okay, except that at Swamiji's ashrams, non-veg food was never served. Okay, even now it's not served at the ashram. And Swamiji after he was initiated into tapas, he stopped taking non-veg food. Of course, as we know, he lived on just milk for 8 years and probably milk and fruit for the next 4 years. And after that, after completing his tapas, when he started traveling, he started taking other food also, but pure vegetarian. He never took non-veg food even after he completed the meditation, completed the tapas. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, so again, when you talk about tamasic or rajasic or sattvic food, Swamiji did not uh, insist on any of those particulars. Okay. See, I would like to take the specific examples. Generally, onion and garlic are considered to be tamasic foods in our Indian tradition. Okay. But Swamiji did not mind that. At the ashram, I lived in the ashram along with Swamiji during Swamiji's time itself for about 11 years. And in the ashram, garlic and onion are regularly used in everyday cooking, and garlic and onion in the food is served to all the devotees who come there. Okay, so there is no restriction on garlic or onion. Plus tea, coffee also. It was served at the ashram on a daily basis. So there is no restriction on caffeine or anything like that. Okay, on tea or caffeine, anything like that. Okay. So does that answer your question or anything
Yes,
else?
yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Any other question, Amma?
Uncle, in the Facebook live chat, we have one question, Uncle.
Amma, please, yeah, go
It
ahead.
was asked by Meeta Vyas Garu.
Ah,
When sitting for meditation, my tears are running from my eyes. Does
ah.
that mean I'm not in true meditation?
No, madam, you don't need to worry about that. See, I know that some people have that experience, okay? Whenever they sit for meditation, the tears run from their eyes. So you don't need to be worried about it. It's not that you are not doing the meditation because you have tears in your eyes, okay? So no, you don't need to worry about that. Okay? I have met other people who have the same experience. They actually consider it a good experience that happens when they sit for meditation. Okay. So you don't need to worry about that. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, the next question is from an anonymous user from YouTube.
Ah,
The question is, suppose I want to go to Samadhi.
ah,
Swamiji said meditate for 3 hours.
okay.
But meditating for 1 hour and directly sleeping seems to be easy option. Should we do 3 hours or is it enough 1 hour meditation and sleeping for 6 hours?
Yeah. Okay. Now let me explain that. See, Swamiji himself told this, what you talked about, that in case if you do the meditation just before you go to sleep and then go to sleep, meaning after the meditation, you shouldn't be doing anything else. Okay. What I mean is, you should not go and watch TV, or you should not read a book, or you should not look at WhatsApp in the phone, nothing like that. You do the meditation, and after the meditation, you go to sleep. If you do that, then he said the whole duration of your sleep itself will be considered as meditation. Okay. So, as you say, if you do the meditation for 1 hour just before you go to sleep, and then you sleep for 6 hours, as per Swamiji, you are doing 7 hours of meditation every night. Okay. That is clear. Now, whether that will take you to the state of Samadhi or not, I don't have an answer to that question. Okay. See, earlier what I explained is, if you practice doing meditation continuously for 3 to 4 hours every day, then you will start reaching the state of Samadhi. And once you reach the state of Samadhi, it's not up to you to decide when to come out because you are not there, basically. Okay. Try to understand this phrase. You are not there. You don't have any control on your body or on your sleep or anything like that, right? Okay. So, yes, I have met other people who do this. I mean, there are people who lie down and meditate and they remain in the meditative state for a very, very long time. And from what they talk, from the symptoms they tell me, as I explained to you, nobody can experience samadhi. Okay. So the person cannot say, I experienced samadhi today. Sorry, that doesn't happen, right? But when you talk to the person and you understand what all is happening, then you get an idea that maybe they are experiencing samadhi. Okay. So, yes, you are right. 1 hour meditation plus 6 hours sleep is equal to 7 hours meditation. Okay. Now, you may be able to reach samadhi even by doing that. So, if you are doing that, please continue to do that. Thank you. Any other question?
There is a question about how to meditate. I think we will have to share some information about how we can take initiation into meditation, Uncle. So let me read out the question.
Okay, Amma, please.
How to meditate? Please teach us on now what Swamiji has to inform real seekers. How to begin initiation in Bangalore on Sunday, or is it only Saturday?
Yeah, I will give you the details. At the Swamiji's ashram in Bangalore, which is located in JP Nagar in South Bangalore. It's in phase 3 and the location is available on Google Maps. So just go to Google Maps and look for Shri Shivabalayogi ashram and you will find it. Okay, you can come there either on a Saturday evening or on a Sunday evening, but you need to be there before 5 o'clock because the initiation happens at 5. And from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you are made to meditate there, sitting in the Dhyan Mandir at the ashram. Okay, so that is how you can learn meditation. They will give you the instructions for meditation and they'll actually make you practice meditation there for 1 hour. After you take the initiation, you can continue to meditate at your home. It's not necessary for you to come to the ashram every day to meditate. You can if you want. If it is convenient for you, you can come to the ashram and if you like it, if you feel that you can do the meditation better at the ashram, you can come to the ashram and do the meditation. The meditation hall is kept open from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the night every day. So any time of the day, you can come to the Dhyan Mandir, sit there and do the meditation. But to take the initiation, you need to be there at 5 o'clock, either on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Okay. So there is an arrangement made there where there is a devotee of Swamiji who is initiating all newcomers, if they are willing to do the meditation. Okay. Thank you. I think there are people available in other locations also, but if you're in Bangalore, then you can come to the ashram. No problem. Yeah,
How about in the US?
In the USA? Yeah, we have a few people who are devotees of Swamiji and who are ready to offer the initiation. So if you tell us where exactly you live in USA, then we should be able to guide you to one of these devotees who can offer the initiation into meditation. Okay. In the UK also there is a devotee. So if you are interested, then I will check with the devotee whether she is willing to initiate you. She is also a very long time devotee of Swamiji. So it's available in the UK also. And then it's available in Singapore. It's available in Malaysia. Sri Lanka, it is available. Okay. Yeah. Any other question, Amma?
I do not find any questions on the streaming platforms either or in the Zoom chat, Uncle.
Okay, Amma. So,
Uncle,
yeah.
Girish Uncle. So one more question. So Swamiji, after tapas, like how did he see this religious belief or superstitious belief or any social issue? Did he speak on that, or like what was his views after his tapas on the superstitious belief or the social issues? Did he speak on that?
Yeah, I remember you asked this question, Girish. But I did not pick that for answering because what do you mean by superstition? Okay.
Superstition,
Meaning, can you clearly define what is a superstition and what is true, what is real?
yeah, it's like superstitious belief. Example, if cat cross a road, we stay. So those things, like, did he say anything like?
No, he never told us anything like that. Okay.
Okay.
I have one more question, if
Yeah.
I may. We talk about karma philosophy, which is
Mm.
the previous life guides the results for this life, or they may even come in this life itself. More of a theoretical question, though it's important for me. What would have happened in the first life, which is when there was no karma to start with? How did we start accumulating karma one way or the other? Which is, how did some people go in the quote unquote good direction, and some people go in the bad direction? There was no karma guiding us at that point of time. So where I'm leading with this question is, in Swami's words or messages at any time, is karma philosophy even relevant for our spiritual progression? Is where I'm leading with this.
Okay. See, to the extent that I know, with all my years of association with Swamiji, Swamiji never gave any importance to the theory of karma. Okay. Now, so that is not saying that he denied karma altogether or anything like that. I'll just give you another example so that you understand what I'm saying. Take, for example, astrology. A lot of people believe in astrology, okay, but a yogi, I mean, I know of Shivabalayogi. He also believed in astrology, okay? But like astrologers do, they predict things, they tell you at what time what will happen and depending on the planets and all that, okay? Swamiji never did that. The reason which I believe, although he didn't openly claim this, the reason I believe he did not do that is because a yogi can nullify the effect of any bad planetary positions. So when he has that power to do that, there is no point in going and asking a yogi, what's my future? Instead, you should ask him for, Swamiji, please give me blessings so that my future is better, future is good. Okay. So in the same way, I believe that Swamiji can either nullify the effect of the bad karma or give you the benefits of good karma. The yogi has that power. Okay. There are several examples of experiences of devotees of Swamiji, but what comes to my mind readily is a recent story that I have heard about Neem Karoli Baba. Okay, so would you be interested in that, or you are saying only Shiva Bala Yogi?
Very interested in that. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. See, the story is that one of the devotees, very close devotees of Neem Karoli Baba, had a very difficult life, it seems. his health was bad. He was having problems in the family. He was having problems on the financial side also. And so he used to struggle day after day, he used to struggle. And he used to come to Neem Karoli Baba regularly and take his blessings. Okay, so it seems one day another devotee asked Neem Karoli Baba, Baba, you know that that guy is struggling so much. He's struggling with his finances, he's struggling with his family, he's struggling with his health. And he comes to you every day and then he seeks your blessings. Then how come his life is not improving? And it seems the reply that Baba gave is, see, using my power, I am making sure that he doesn't end his life. And that's all I can do. Okay. So I am trying to ensure that somehow he passes his day and goes on to the next day. Okay. So that means that without the help of the yogi, Neem Karoli Baba, that person would have lost his life actually. But it is Neem Karoli Baba's help that is at least keeping him alive with all the trouble that he has. And I don't remember the exact words, but what Neem Karoli Baba said is, all the problems that he has, he's trying to keep a limit on them so that he doesn't get consumed by them totally. So that is the explanation that Neem Karoli Baba has given. And I think there was a hint that, it had to do with his bad karma or bad fate that he had. So because he was coming to the yogi and seeking his blessings regularly, that karma or that fate could be nullified to some extent, but that's all the yogi also could do in the case of that particular devotee. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
To some extent it does, but that's good enough for now. Thank you.
Okay. No, I don't know if I said this, but Swamiji never talked about karma or never taught the theory of karma to us. Never. Not even once. Okay.
Okay.
See, for example, when such questions were asked of him, he would give his own example. Of his childhood, right? So what he used to say was, he was born in a very poor family and his father passed away when he was just 2 years of age. Now, any other normal boy couldn't have done anything in that kind of a state. Okay? But look at this boy, Satyaraju, Swamiji's earlier name. He worked hard right from the age of 5 years. Okay? And then when he realized that weaving cloth is not fetching enough money to feed their stomachs, he started a business, a small business at his house. And he was so successful, he was so enterprising that by the time he reached about 12, 13 years of age, he could feed his mother, his grandfather, his two sisters, and a brother. And the sisters were already married, so they were having children. So with this small business and the weaving that he was doing, he could feed all of them full, give them 3 meals a day, full meals a day, and keep them all happy. Not only that, by the time he reached the age of 14, he had saved enough money to buy a pair of bangles, gold bangles for his mother. Okay. So he would give this example and say, if I had resigned myself to fate and said that, what can I do? This is my fate. I am a poor guy. My father has died. I cannot do anything. And he left it. He would have remained like that. Okay. Recently, I heard somebody say, being born poor, I can understand it. But dying poor, that is your fault, right? That means you have not done whatever you need to do. When so many people are, so happy, they are all getting food and you don't get food, don't blame it on your fate. You haven't struggled hard enough, or you haven't been clever enough to earn your living in this world. Okay? So this is what somebody has said. So, I mean, if you take the example of Satyaraju or Shivabalayogi, I cannot argue any further with him regarding karma, right? So that's the answer, sir, to your question.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Any other question, Amma?
There is one question related to it. It's a follow-up question where we discussed about 1 hour meditation following 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, Amma.
The question is not framed correctly, Uncle. Let me translate it into better way.
Yeah.
Once I get into bed to sleep, am I allowed to open my eyes? For example, to turn off a light or hit snooze on an alarm? Or will opening my eyes destroy the effort I just put into falling asleep?
Let me answer it this way. See, when we say you do the meditation for 1 hour and then you go to sleep and you sleep for 6 hours, and then say that all those 6 hours also are counted as meditation. Now, in between, if you wake up, are you meditating or not? See, if you are asleep, then it will be counted as meditation, right? But in between, you get up, I mean, you are awake and you are not even sleeping. I doubt if that will count as meditation, at least not as continuous meditation, right? I mean, if you get up to switch off, I mean, or to snooze the alarm or something like that, and you again continue to meditate, that is fine. But if you don't meditate and you don't sleep, but you expect that, then it's like doing, one hour meditation for 6 hours, right? 6 hours in a day, spread across the day or something like that. So if there is a break in the sleep or in the meditation, it's a break, right? So this is again my understanding. It's not an answer from Swamiji. Unfortunately, nobody asked this question of Swamiji, so I don't have an answer. So I am trying to give my own answer to that question. Okay? Thank you.
Uncle, there is a question in Zoom chat.
Yeah.
Do we have Yogi Ji's ashram at Dehradun? How can I learn the Yogi Ji meditation of meditation?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, there is an ashram of Swamiji in Dehradun. Swamiji used to visit that ashram regularly every year during the summer. So even now that ashram is there and you can go there, but I don't have the information regarding that ashram as to who is there, when people are available, what programs are going on there. I don't have that information with me. Okay. Um, you will have to check with the trust to find out about those details. I am talking about the trust which is headquartered in Bangalore in the ashram here in JP Nagar. So you can check with them and find out the programs or the availability of initiation at the Dehradun ashram and on which days it is available or when it is available. Okay, I don't have that information with me, sorry. But the ashram is definitely there. Yeah.
I have one more.
Yeah, please.
So Swamiji is not alive anymore, and you were fortunate to be with him in the ashram when he was there. Are there any living saints right now that we can interface with at this point, by any chance?
You mean living saints who are devotees of Swamiji?
It doesn't matter. I mean, the Swamiji is Advaitin, right? So I think all the saints should be the same, in my opinion. But someone who is more bona fide, more, someone who is approachable and such.
No, I don't know of people like that.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
good. Thank
I
you.
don't know of anyone like that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I mean, at least there is no person whom I approach for such requirements. Okay, but I can tell you one thing, that at the Bangalore ashram itself, uh, there are devotees who regularly experience trance. Okay, so in trance, uh, we can communicate with them. I mean, we can communicate with Swamiji as well as other gods through them. So that happens regularly at the Bangalore ashram every Sunday evening.
Okay, thank you. Good to know that.
Yeah. అయిందమ్మ టైము ఇంకో నిమిషం ఉందా ఓకే
There is one more question, Uncle.
యా
Would you like me to ask the question, read it
యా
out,
అమ్మా
or
గో ఎడ్ రీడ్ ఇట్ అవుట్
just a minute, Uncle?
యా ష్యూర్
Okay, Uncle. I'm reading out the question from YouTube live chat, Uncle.
యా
I'm a pastor from Namibia, and I want to ask a question.
యా
How do you keep sleep in? I means the word is written as steel. I am thinking it as a sleep. How do you keep sleep in meditation while your mind is too busy? And also, I have been so drawn to the teachings of the Guru. Can I put this question in the chat, Uncle?
యా ప్లీజ్ so that I can see it, Amma. I am a pastor from Namibia and I want to ask a question. Okay. How do you keep still, Amma? It's not sleep. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, let me answer that, Amma. See, the question is from a pastor in Namibia. So he is asking, how do you keep still in meditation while your mind is too busy? And also, I have been so drawn to the teachings of the Guru. So I'm glad that you're drawn to the teachings of Guruji, Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj. The question that you were asking, how do we keep still? It comes with practice. Okay, once you take the initiation from Swamiji and then you practice sitting still, you can do that. And Swamiji advises everyone to meditate for at least 1 hour every day. Okay. Now, if the question is about some pains in the joints or shoulders or knees or something like that, because you are squatting on the floor or sitting on a chair without movement, so long as you keep your eyes closed, you can shift yourself, you can shift your position, you can change your legs position if you want. Okay, but you have to keep your eyes shut. You should not open them in between. So this is what I learned from Swamiji. So if you don't open your eyes, it is okay even if you move your hands or move your legs a little, You can sip a little bit of water if you're feeling thirsty. So those things are not going to disturb the meditation. as you practice the meditation. Now, with practice, days of practice, months of practice, you should be able to reach a state where you don't need any of this. There won't be any movement. You can sit still for 1 hour easily. Okay. So that's my experience looking at several devotees of Swamiji. Just last Sunday, I have seen a devotee at the ashram. When I went to the ashram at 2:30 in the afternoon, he was seated there in a chair in the meditation hall, and he remained seated and in meditation, totally still, until 8:15 in the night. So that's almost like, I did not see when actually he went and sat. But after he uh, got up from the meditation at about 8:15, I asked him, did you have your lunch? He said, yes, I had lunch and then I came and sat here. So that must have been around 2:15. So from 2:15 to 8:15, 6 hours at a stretch, he sat there on the chair in the ashram's Dhyan Mandir and he was doing the meditation. Okay. I have not seen him there very often. I know him since I think 3 to 4 years, that's all. But he has practiced the meditation and is able to do it. And of course, sitting in the meditation hall at the ashram will give you extra blessings from Swamiji to do the meditation. Okay. So this is something that I've seen just last Sunday. So I wanted to share that with you. Thank you, Pastor.
There is one more question from, it is not a question, uncle, it is kind of requesting.
Ah,
So I'll just read it out, uncle.
ah.
Uncle, one request also. Try to include more things which not discussed in books of Swamiji, and only you personally knew such things from Swamiji in Satsang sessions, along with other stories we discuss.
Okay. Now see, let me explain this a little bit. See, I was associated with Tom for a very long time. Okay. And I have shared a lot of things with him. And he has compiled all that I told him also in the books. Okay. You will see my name repeated often in the book. Okay. And whatever we discussed and whatever we understand about Swamiji, he has compiled all of that. So, I saw this question earlier, but I am unable to recollect things, which I have not discussed with Tom and so are not in the book. But at times I come out with some points. Like, for example, today I discussed Swamiji's definition of a guru, right? Who is a guru? I don't think I told that to Tom. Okay. So I don't think you will find that in Tom's books. So like that, there are points which I have not told Tom. So only when I talk about that in the satsang, then I realize that I have not told this to Tom. Okay. So next time I come to something like that, if you're attending the satsang regularly, I'll try to point out what is not there in the book. Okay. But most of what I talk in the satsangs is already in the books that Tom has compiled. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Antanamma, ainda?
One more question, uncle.
Yeah.
He's asking, on which days do you guys meditate together?
Okay, as I said, it will be, many of us go to the ashram on Sundays. One reason is that is a holiday here in India. Okay, but also because Swamiji used to, even during Swamiji's time, Sunday was a special day at the ashram when all the devotees in Bangalore, not all the devotees, but many devotees in Bangalore used to come to the ashram to participate in the programs there. Programs like bhajan and Annadanam also. Okay. Now, group meditation, it has not been going on regularly, but now there is just an attempt to do the group meditation at the ashram. Okay, so we want to do it on Saturday evenings and Sunday evenings. So hope that will take off soon. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
That's all from the
Okay.
live stream platforms,
Yeah.
Uncle. In the Zoom chat also, we do not find any questions.
Okay, Amma. So let's close the session, Amma. It's already over, right? It's 9:10 now. Almost 9:10. Yeah. Huh?
Thanks,
Yes.
Jagdeep, for your usual satsang.
Thank you
And
very much, Chandra.
appreciate that you've been so long with Swamiji that there may be other unrevealed experiences that we may have to share in future with us. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Chandra.
Balayogi Maharaj.
Jai. Close చేసేద్దామమ్మా.
Recording stop.
Uncle.
Stop the recording. Okay, stream, live stream.